Chad. This is Chris, Dylan, Brian, and Caitlin. We're a nice development group here to present to you Westwood Isle. So Westwood Isle is a 25.5 acre site located along Westwood Boulevard. It is adjacent to SeaWorld as well as just a half mile from the Orange County Convention Center. These are the two main drivers for this part of town. Some of the deal highlights is we will be bringing the first ever licensed and franchised SeaWorld hotel. We will be bringing a new headquarters for SeaWorld. This will be a build-to-suit office, which will be 140,000 square feet. We're going to bring a 150-key limited service hotel to serve convention center goers, as well as two pad sites along Westwood Boulevard. One will be a Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, the other will be a Dunkin' Donuts. The project will cost just over $106 million. Here on the top right side, we have it broken down into the different phases, the different parts of the development phase. Here's our capital stack. It's going to be at 10% internal, 20% external, and 70% debt. Tonight we're here seeking a 20% external partner who will provide $21.2 million and can expect an 8.5 preferred return on their money annually. Here's some other key financials for the project. A developer's NPV of $30.7 million, a developer's IRR of 27%, and a developer's MIRR of 22%. We're now going to take a look at our site plan. So starting on the northeast side of the site, this is our limited service hotel. It's going to be 150 keys managed by Marriott. Just through this access point here, you go through the median cut, you have a bridge that overpasses the 528 and takes you directly into the Orange County Convention Center. This will make for a really easy commute for people staying at this hotel and then go into the convention center. Moving down, here's our build-to-suit office for SeaWorld. This will be the new headquarters for SeaWorld. They're really excited to have a new office so close to their theme parks. We think this is going to be a great advancement for their company. Then, utilizing the road frontage along Westwood Boulevard, we have a Dunkin' Donuts with a drive-thru and a Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, which will have patio seating. On the south side of our site is the Reef. This is going to be the SeaWorld Hotel. Note on the south side, of the hotel is our pool and amenities. This will capture the sun really well for our guests who want to hang out in the sun. And then on the north side, we have a shaded area. We thought it was important to have sun and shade because a lot of the people coming and staying at our hotel are going to have young kids. They might not want to be in the sun all day long. A couple other things to note is we have a service road running the entire perimeter of the property, 6 points of access, 2 of which are for the service road, 4 throughout the site, which are all met by median cuts, make it for a very easy commute whichever way you need to go on Westwood Boulevard. Then we have a pond. Early in our due diligence, we discovered we're going to need 2 acres of detention on site. Option 1 was to just stick it in the back corner and forget about it. We went with option 2. We wanted to have a beautiful water feature for our guests. We have 3 fountains and 2 bridges. What this pond does, it gives our guests a place that they can walk around, hang out. They can see it from the patio at Cheddar's. It also kind of closes off the reef from the rest of the project. It makes it an oasis of its own. This is really going to be a special hotel as it's the first of its kind. This little chart, a lot of work was put in this little chart, believe it or not. As we pushed the density on this project, parking became a really big issue. We played with the idea of having a parking garage or this, that, and the other. We were able to total out with 1,366 parking spots. That's parking each hotel at 1.1 parking stall per key, which is well above code and meets the requirements of the market. We were also able to park the SeaWorld office at 5 spots per 1,000. If the Cheddar's at 150, which is more than adequate, we know that they're dealing with them getting an LOI. They really expressed the need for the parking spots. We were able to do that. And then Dunkin' Donuts has more than enough with 21 spots and a drive-thru. That's it for our site plan. And here's Chris with the market overview.
All right, thank you, Chad. For our market overview, we really want to focus on the tourism statistics for Florida. Florida itself had 112.8 million visitors last year, and 66 million of those had came to Central Florida. It's also important to note that spending for out-of-state tourists had increased by 10% for lodging to $30 billion, and that food and beverage sales have increased by 4.4% to $22 billion. Also, we want to touch on that SeaWorld has around 22 million guests annually, and the average household income for those guests is $80,000. All right, next for the sub-market overview, we really want to focus on the Orange County Convention Center. The Orange County Convention Center is the second largest convention center in the United States at 7 million square feet. 1.3 million delegates attend the convention center annually, and the convention center provides a $1.9 billion economic impact to the Central Florida area. It's important to note that our limited service hotel is at the foot of the overpass that leads straight to the convention center for easy access of guests. We also want to touch up on Westwood Corporate Center as well as the surrounding offices. They actually make up 500,000 square feet of office space, which is really important for our ground leases such as Cheddar's and Dunkin' Donuts because it provides customers for them to make them stay in business in order for them to pay their rents. Next on to Dylan for the demographics.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, so here we have a map depicting our site by the star and surrounding hotels, apartment complexes, and office buildings. The hotels are represented by the red squares, apartment complexes by the yellow triangles, and office buildings by the blue circles. Now, if you'll direct your attention to the south of our site, along Westwood Boulevard, there's a group of hotels, and these hotels focus heavily on serving guests of SeaWorld. However, none have the distinction of being SeaWorld's exclusive and premier franchise, like our SeaWorld hotel. Now, if you'll shift your attention to the northeast of our site, you'll see another group of hotels. These focus heavily on serving convention center guests. However, our hotel, our limited service hotel, is located just across the bridge to the convention center and located closer to most of the hotels in the submarket. In total, we found that there are 4,944 hotel rooms, 1,445 multifamily units, and over 12,000 daytime employees working within a mile of our site. These population specs not only provide important information to our submarket, but they also provide great justification for profitable land lease operations like Cheddar's and Dunkin' Donuts. And with that, I'd like to pass it off to Caitlin, who's going to go over some specific uses.
Thank you, Dylan. So the first component that I'd like to break down into more detail is the Reef at SeaWorld, which is going to be our SeaWorld exclusive hotel, which will be the first and only of its kind. This SeaWorld exclusive hotel is going to be franchised and leased, and will be a 2-tower, 300-key hotel that will feature SeaWorld exclusive themed decor, rooms, and other unique experiences for guests. In our primary negotiations with SeaWorld, we have negotiated and agreed upon a term to pay 3% of our gross hotel sales to them, as well as a $75,000 per year licensing fee. Also included in our primary negotiations are the ability to use their themes, characters, and likenesses, exclusive ticket and hotel packaging, priority placement on their website and advertising, shuttle bus services from the hotel to any of their 3 theme parks, and more as we continue with our negotiations. The developer IRR for the Reef at SeaWorld is going to be 32%. This is one of the renderings we've received from our architect of what the Reef might look like once it's built. The next component I want to break down is the limited service hotel, which will be a Fairfield Inn and Suites. This 150-key hotel will be built on 3 acres of land and is located on the northeast end of our site. As Chad mentioned, it has easy access to the convention center and is primarily placed to exploit the convention center customer. We're also in negotiations with SeaWorld to add this hotel to their partner hotel program as we negotiate our exclusive SeaWorld hotel. Developer IRR for the Fairfield Inn and Suites is 23%. That brings us to the SeaWorld corporate headquarters. This 140,000 square foot built-to-suit office is being built for their exclusive use and will be 100% leased to them. Their corporate headquarters is currently located at Southport, which is approximately 5 miles east of the theme park. It will also accommodate various other corporate employees on property and in nearby trailers. When we talked with them, they expressed a desire to be located near the theme parks for operational reasons and for security reasons. While we negotiated with SeaWorld, we agreed upon a term of 20 years at a rate of $24 per square foot. Conscious of SeaWorld's endeavors to be eco-friendly, we will also be having our building LEED certified. The developer IRR for the SeaWorld corporate office will be 18%. The last components of our site plan are the Cheddar's and Dunkin' Donuts pad sites. The Cheddar's is going to be built on 2.5 acres and will be approximately 8,000 square feet of restaurant, including patio seating. It'll be ground leased at a rate of $140,000 per square year. $140,000 per year with 1% increases in rent steps. The developer IRR for the Cheddar's is 30%, and our Dunkin' Donuts is going to be a 2,000 square foot store with a drive-through built on 1 acre, and that is going to be ground leased at a rate of $65,000 a year with a 1% rent step. And the developer IRR for the Dunkin' Donuts is 51%, and we have received signed LOIs for both of these restaurants. Now I'm going to pass it back to Dylan for the construction timeline.
Thank you, Caitlin. Yeah, so here we have Westwood Isle's construction timeline. We foresee that the sales and purchase agreement will be finalized in the 3rd quarter of 2017. We will already have began our due diligence, and we allocate 2 more quarters to design and engineering. Now in the 2nd quarter of 2018, we will have broken ground.
And in the fourth quarter of 2018, we will begin construction of both hotels and the office. Now we estimate that this will take about 6 quarters to complete. However, the land leases should only take about half the time. So in order to ensure that all projects are completed at the same time, we will begin construction of land leases halfway through completion of the office and hotels. Now in the first quarter of 2020, Westwood Isle will be operational and ready for business. And I'd like to pass it on to Brian, who's now going to focus on financials.
Thank you, Dylan. Like Chad had already mentioned, our capital structure for our project is going to consist of 70% coming from the bank in the form of a 4.5% interest-only balloon payment loan. The 20% is going to be financed through external investment. That's what we're here seeking today. And that's going to give out a preferred rate of return of 8.5% yearly. And the remaining 10% is going to be financed from internal investment, our development group. The SeaWorld Hotel is going to have a total project cost of $50.7 million, which comes out to about $169,000 per key. The limited service hotel is going to have a total project cost of $21.5 million, which comes out to $143,000 per key. The SeaWorld exclusive office is going to have a total project cost of $31 million, and that comes out to $226 per square foot. Next are the two ground leases. The Dunkin' Donuts ground lease is going to have a total project cost of $650,000, and the Cheddar's is going to have a total project cost of $1.5 million. And for the next slide, we have the total project cost with all components included at $106 million. The total external investment we're here seeking tonight is going to be $21.2 million. With your 8.5 preferred rate of return, you can expect to see $1.8 million per year. And over the 6 years of the project, that will come out to $10.7 million. The ROI for the external investment will be 50.48 at the end of the project. And here is our cash flows for years 0 through 6 for the development company. Year 0 is going to be our due diligence phase, and we're going to get a lot of our architecture and engineering costs situated in year 0. Years 1 and 2 are going to be our construction phases, and all the construction costs are going to be allocated in years 1 and 2. Years 3 is going to be our first operating year. We also sell both ground leases at the end of year 3. Years 4 and 5 are going to be also normal operating years. It's going to give the chance for the hotel to stabilize. And then in year 6, after it being an normal operating year, we will dispose the remaining assets at the end. And now here are some sensitivity tables we've provided you to show the amount of risk that this project has. This will show the worst case scenarios and how it affects our IRR. For the two hotels, we are comparing the occupancy rate to the daily rental rate we are charging per night. The office is going to be comparing the cap rate we dispose at versus the per square foot rent we charge. And the two ground leases are going to be comparing the cap rate in which we sell it versus the annual rent we charge. And I'm going to pass it on to Chris for his marketing plan and our exit strategy.
All right, thanks, Brian. So for our marketing plan, we have actually decided to make room in the budget to have a broker from CBRE to sell our project. We decided this because of CBRE's national outreach to its investors as well as its global outreach. Next, moving on to the project salad table, we have the salad table listed as following. We have the net operating income for the year we're going to be selling, the year after we're going to be selling it, followed by the cap rate, then the total terminal value, less the closing costs, debt services, and then the net disposition. To hide on things, our SeaWorld Hotel will be selling at the end of year 6 at a cap rate of 9% to give us a net disposition value of $25 million. Our limited service hotel will be sold at the end of year 6 as well with a 9% cap rate for a net disposition of $6.3 million. Our SeaWorld headquarters we have to be sold at the end of year 6 at a 7% cap rate for a net disposition of $9.18 million. And then lastly, our ground leases for Cheddar's will be selling at the end of year 3, and we are confident we will get a 5% cap rate in order to get a net disposition of $686,000. And lastly, our Dunkin' Donuts will be also sold at the end of year 3 for a 5% cap rate for a net disposition of $379,000, which will give our total net disposition cash flow of $41,573,680. Next, Chad is going to wrap things up for you.
Great. So we hope you guys like what you saw here at Westwood Isle. We think we really came up with a project that's going to meet the market's needs, and there's going to be money on the table for everybody. We think this is going to be a win for SeaWorld. We think this will be a win for SeaWorld guests. We think this will be a win for the developers, and it will be a win for you if you want to join us as a 20% partner. We want to thank our mentors and everyone that worked with us this semester and put up with our late calls and late meetings. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.